an adapter. Like myself, I've also adapted the songs, not just sung them. And we go through and turn it into a song. And I have some examples of lyrics, and Vic's done some adapting on his own, just for his own concerts and things. So we'll go through how the whole process works here as soon as we get an AV cable. All right. But generally, you'll notice we have to make up stuff a lot when we adapt from the lyrics in Japanese, because it can take them syllable-wise a lot longer to say something than it does in English. And we have this issue when we're adapting scripts as well. But along with their syllables being, multiple syllables for 3 words in English, a lot of the times a theme of a song, it can get very repetitive. And when you actually read the translation, they've said the same thing 5 times, maybe in a different kind of way. We run into this a lot on all of the theme songs for One Piece. Every theme song is very different. They all have really cool sound, the way they make them differentiate one song to another, from the opening to the closing. But in general, they're all about the journey, something nautical, and like sticking with your friends, and a verb song. Okay, so we run out of ways to make that sound, because we make up things along those same lines, and to make it fit. Another thing we like to do is, if there are any words in English, you'll hear that a lot, Japanese pop song, and all of a sudden, I love you, like in there in English, we'll keep that stuff whenever possible. Sometimes the grammar is really just, oh no, that's not how that goes. We'll fix the grammar, but leave those English words wherever we can. Or if it's a Japanese word that people know really well, like sakura or samurai or something like that, leave those words in place in the song whenever you can. We also keep in, I don't know what word I'm looking for, but whatever the rhythm is in Japanese, and if they sing, say, 1 syllable across 3 notes, we'll try to do that as well, instead of putting a syllable per note, or vice versa. The rhyme scheme, we try to keep with that. It's hard because, as you may know, in Japanese, most of the words end in vowels. So words sound like they rhyme even if they're not meant to be rhyming. So sometimes we make our own rhyme scheme. Sometimes there isn't even one. We'll also try to keep the same type of vowel sounds on the ending notes and on the held out notes whenever possible, because it's like, well, it sounded really good in Japanese on an ah sound, so what can we do to make it stay an ah sound or an e or an oo or whatever. What else? This will be more fun when we have music to listen to in a minute. Does anybody have any questions about dubbing songs, or people sing them? Yeah.
Do you keep the same instrumentation, or do you end up having to just copy or redo the instrument?
We get an instrumentation from the Japanese. So there have maybe been times when, with their permission, we have had to rewrite it or reorchestrate the exact same thing for whatever reason. Sometimes you'll get stuff and they have already, or they've left in their backing vocals in Japanese, and they may not have one that they can send to us without them. So in which case we have to reorchestrate it without that part so we can put in our own. Sometimes they won't and let us reorchestrate it and say, no, you have to keep ours. So we'll just have to sing English backing vocals over the Japanese and hope you don't hear it. Which usually it gets mixed out and you can't really hear it too well anyway. Good question though. Other questions? Anything about singing or dubbing or music? Yeah.
I feel bad because when you were mentioning translation, I noticed a line that was really different. Not too different really, but I was thinking about the Oran Hostel.
A host club song? Which one?
Sakura Kiss, the first one. The Sakura Kiss wasn't in it. So it's something like, I'll kiss your hand and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, oh yeah, we didn't keep Sakura in that one, which is, I don't really know why. I really love the adaptation, and I'm a huge Oran fan, and I directed it, and I was in it, and all that stuff. We changed it to "And with One Kiss" instead of Sakura Kiss. Ba, 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 ba. I know all the words in Japanese too, but I think that was just something that it worked out so well, that phrase, "And with one kiss, we can stop time at aisle," whatever the rest is in English. I didn't adapt that one. A friend of mine did, And when she sent it back to me, that part just really excited me. Like I wanted to keep.
We're taking vows, I think. Make of our hands.
I wouldn't have minded if we kept that phrase in there, soft her a kiss, but when I read what she wrote, I thought that is so cool how she made that work, so we kept that instead. There are times though where you really have to come up with something else, like the actual translation for the very end of that song is something like the blossoming virgin's aesthetic. Literal translation. That just does not sound like an English lyric.
She said virgin.
So we totally changed that to something about spring and blossoming and something like that. But, so I just gave him like a whole spiel. We're waiting on an AV cable so we can hook up the
Yeah, I didn't know if you wanted me to bring
things.
something or not. You know, I certainly could, play some
Turn
things.
on your
And,
iPhone and hold the mic.
yeah, that'd be awesome, wouldn't it? That sounds so rich.
This might be a
full.
cable.
And it's
not. So Vic here. This is Vic, who didn't know. Hi, Vic.
Hi guys. Hi. What a
Vic,
nice little intimate gathering.
isn't it fun? So he sings a little, I would hope. I mean, he has a concert. So boys are just gonna bang
No, I
on
totally have
sticks.
them all full. I talked the convention into giving me a concert, and I don't even know what I'm doing. I can't sing, I can't play anything. I'm just gonna sing and go, hi. But yeah, I've been writing and producing music like twice as long as I've been voice acting. Well, we're in Austin, actually. I've written a lot of commercials, a lot of commercial work, probably even things that you guys have heard because you're in Texas. You guys have academies up here, don't you? Academy of Sports and Outdoors, right stuff, right? Yeah, guess who wrote that?
Sorry, I like that song.
And some of those kind of things like Fiesta.
People
and,
don't believe me when I'm like, I know the guy who wrote the Academy song when it's on the radio. They're like, shut up.
You're lying.
No, you don't.
But there's a lot of those.
Him or something. Someone do
Old him. See, Bartholomew wrote that. But I worked in Houston with a lot of ad agencies, writing and producing music for different commercials. And have produced probably 15 or 20 records for different people over the years. If any of you are into contemporary Christian music at all, there's a band called DC Talk that I produced their first album and worked with them. And then I've got five now, and I'm working on a sixth one of my own material. So I was particularly excited when I was able to start integrating my love for music and singing and writing in with my work in anime. I'd been working as a voice actor for like 10 years before anyone even said, hey, why don't we have Vic do something? And I was always bummed out because I would love to have done that. I know that they did some English adaptations from time to time, and I was always hopeful that I'd get the chance to. So the first one that I did was I sang one of the themes from One Piece, and then
You sang many of them.
the second one, and then a second one, and then a third one, and then I've done a Dragon Ball GT theme, and then I even have adapted a couple of songs myself. The theme from Dean Angel, if you guys know that show. There is a really great cheesy song that Tamaki sings called "Guilty Beauty Love." Yes, it's every bit as Velveeta as it sounds. And so I adapted the lyric for that song and recorded it. Some of you may have heard my version of Brothers, the Brothers theme from Full Metal Alchemist. So I've really been excited to be able to start bringing some of my love for music into the anime field that I work in.
And everybody that we have record either like singing for us or adapting stuff for us, they all have musical backgrounds, which I think is impressive. And so our head, what we kind of call him the musical director at Funimation, is Mike McFarland. You may know him. He directed Full Metal Alchemist first time around and many, many other series. He has a degree in music, plays instruments, and goes out gigging on top of all the voice acting and directing that he does. And another person is Brina Palencia, also has a degree in music, sings opera. She's really awesome. And so the two of them kind of trade